Hello everyone, I'm Priyanka from Aussizz Group. First of all, thank you so much for joining today's session. Before our presenter begins, we have an exciting giveaway to talk about. By actively participating during Conclave 2023, you have the opportunity to win $100. Make sure to leave your questions in the chat box and our experts will discuss at the end of the presentation. So thank you so much for joining this session. Now, today's topic is long-term tourist visa for parent and age-dependent parents. So, our today's topic going to discuss with our one of the experienced register migration agent, Hassan Ali. So, I would like to request Mr. Hassan Ali to continue this presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Hassan Ali from Aussizz Group. Today I'm sharing partner parent visa subclass. Yes. Today my topic is parent visa and long-term tourist visa. So we will cover different type of parent visa and long-term visas. So Aussizz Group have provide different type of services like we will provide PT, we will provide IELTS, and even we can buy the health insurance for our clients. We can also do the services from NATI, and we also do the professional year PT, and this is a very popular site, our search. If you want to find any state nomination, like if you have an occupation like accountant, you just go to this app, download it, and this app will tell you which state is better for your occupation. And we have 11 offices in Victoria. We have a Collins Street office and Elizabeth Street, Hawthorne, Dandenong, Pakenham, Thomastown, Werribee, Footscray, Turbanina, Clayton, and Glenroy. Mostly we have offices in North, East, West. You can easily find our offices. And in all offices, you can find the registered migration agent. They can help you your queries. So today my topic is the parent visa. So in parent visa, we have 7 different type of parent visa. Number one is 173, that is contributing parent visa. Number 2 is 143 parent visa. This is also the contributing parent visa. And 103, this is the parent visa, and 884, 864, 804, 838. And I will discuss you step by step all these type of visas. All visa have a different type of requirements. In my further slides, I will discuss everything with all of them. So first I will explain you parent visa. There are 2 type of parent visa categories. First is contributing parent visa, one is non-contributing parent visa. Especially in parent visa, there is one very big requirement: aged parent visa, aged and not aged. For example, if you are going from contributing parent visa, you can see aged onshore and aged not aged. So for example, if some of our clients' parents are 67 years old or pension years old, they can go for aged onshore parent visa. So if we go for contributing parent visa, if you go for further aged onshore, like you can go for contributing aged parent visa 864. Then in 864 there is a 2 different types, 884 and 864. It's all depends on the payments. And one more thing, not age. If for example, if some parents is not aged parent, like not pension age, the age is below 67 years old, they can go for contributing parent visa 143. And in not aged parent visa, there is also 2 different type of categories. One is 143 and one is 173. And if on the further side, if we go for non-contributing parent visa, there is 2 types further. One is aged onshore, one is not aged offshore. That is 2 different categories, 804 and 103. So in my further slides, I will differentiate both types of difference. And one more thing, in contributing parent visa, you have to pay department some big money like 50K per applicant. In non-contributing parent visa, you don't pay much money, around about $6,000. So the major difference between contributing and non-contributing is the amount factor. In contributing parent visa, people get the PR within 12 years. But in non-contributing parent visa, the processing time is very, very long, more than 30 years. So this is the parent visa matrix. So when of our client come to our office and they have asked major question, if I want to apply 103, 143 or 1773, can I get the bridging visa A or not? If you are applying 103, 143 or 173, you don't get the bridging visa. And bridging visa only you will get if you apply 804, 864, 884. So if you apply these three type of visas onshore, you will get the bridging visa. So if you apply no bridging visa like 103, 143, 173, you will not get the bridging visa. And the processing time of 103, 804 is nearly 30 years. And if you go for 143, 173, 864, 884, the processing time is different. I can explain you further, but these contributing parent visa are very expensive. But if you go for 103 and 804, these parent visa are not very expensive. So this is the queue. So for example, if you go for this slide, you can see if someone applying contributing parent visa before last year, the processing time is only 6 years, but this time their processing time is increased. They are going for 12 years. And another thing, in the aged parent visa that I discussed before, if you are applying like 804 or 103, the processing time is around about 29 years. So the parent visa, there is also another thing, there is a queue system. For example, I am discussing with if someone applying as at 30th April 2023, contributing parent visa application with the queue date to May 2017. Parent visa application with the queue date up to October 2001. So here, if someone applying parent visa, so the queue system in this website, you can easily see. So this processing time is changed time to time. Currently, the processing time is little bit longer. Department does not provide processing time for contributing parent visa, parent contributing parent visa, age parent visa. Application for these visa are subject to capping and queuing system. New parent visa and age parent visa application launched that meet the criteria to be queue are likely to take 30 years. So the processing time is very long, but your parents will get the bridging visa A. The better thing is that if you are applying this 804, so if you have a parent and if you are going for 804, if you are applying onshore, your parents will get the bridging visa A. That bridging visa will be 30 years. So that's the main thing. So one another thing, you might be eligible to apply a parent visa category if only. So there is a requirement. So which applicants are eligible to apply parent visa? So you have a child who is an Australian citizen and Australian permanent residents are eligible New Zealander citizens. So this is the first requirement. Your child must be Australian citizen, must be permanent resident. Another thing, your child has been living in Australia lawfully for at least 2 years before you launch your visa application. And your child is your sponsor. One more thing, you must meet the balance of family test criteria that I will explain you. What is the balance of family test? This is the first basic questions most of the client ask us. So another thing, you meet the health and character requirement. For example, your parents' health must be good. There is no criminal history like character requirements. The core criteria for the grant or permanent parent visa include the parent must meet the balance of family test. It means half of the children must be Australian citizen or must be PR holder. For example, if some parents have a two child, one is Australian citizen and one is Indian resident, it means they are meeting the balance of family test. And I can give you another example. If someone have a three kids, one is Australian citizen, one is student, and one back is in India. So only one is Australian citizen. So he is not meeting the balance of family test. If applying for an onshore parent visa, be old enough to receive the age pension in Australia. So parent visa, if you're applying onshore, so you must be aged parents. So there here in Australia, there is a definition, aged parents, age pension. So I will explain you. Another requirement, you must meet health and character requirements. Arrange for eligible Australia to lodge a refundable bond. That is assurance of sport. I will explain to it further. There are also a parent visa that involves two stages, with a temporary visa being granted first, and provided a further visa application charge is paid within 2 years, the parent visa may then apply for a permanent visa. Sometimes people can go for it contributing parent visa in two types. First, they apply 143, then they go for 173. First, they go for 143 in 173. 173 is a temporary parent visa. They will get for 2 years. And then after 2 years, they go for 143. And this is the balance of family test. To apply which visa? Mostly all of the parent visas like 103, 143, 173, 804, 864, 884. Balance of family test applies. If someone is not meeting the balance of family test, they are not eligible to apply the parent visa. So this is the main definition, balance of family test. So balance of family test do not apply to which visa? Only one visa, that is 838, age dependent relative visa. On this visa, there is no balance of family test applies because this is not the parent visa, but your parents are eligible to apply this visa. This is 838. And this visa I can explain you further. This permanent visa let a single older person stay in Australia as they rely on a relative living in Australia for a financial support. I can explain you further for this visa in later. No balance of test is required 838. Be dependent, you must have been dependent on your relative in Australia for a basic need like food, shelter, clothing for at least last 3 years before you apply for this visa. Be this age. For example, your parent must be aged parents. Your parent must be 66 years and 6 months old. And another most important requirement, have no partner, must be single. To be eligible this visa, you must have no partner. Have a sponsor, you must be sponsored by an eligible relative or relative partners. The basic requirement for this visa must be aged parents, 66-year-old, must be single, and they must be depend on financially on their sponsor for last 3 years. Eligible and ineligible child, and a child is an eligible child if they are Australian citizen, Australian permanent resident, usually resident in Australia, and eligible New Zealander citizen, usually resident in Australia. Any other child of the parent is an eligible child. Ineligible child. An eligible child is, for example, if someone is on a student visa, if someone is on 485 visa, they are ineligible child. What is balance of family test and who is counted? This is the basic question. So balance of family test, that's I provided you earlier. Half of the kids must meet these requirements. The parents and their parents, partners, children, including stepchildren, adopted children are counted in their balance of family test. For example, if you have a stepchild, they are also considered in balance of family test. Children are not accounted if they are deceased, have been removed from their parents, are registered by the UNHCR as a refugee, and live in a camp operated by UNHCR. Live in a country where they suffer persecution of human rights abuse and can't be reunited with their parents in another country. A stepchild, the parent's current partner's child. For example, if you have a stepmom and if they have a child, they will be included in the balance of family test. Your former partner's child who is under 80 years of age and in relation to whom you have guardianship, custody of of a parenting order in the force under the family laws. Important information to consider. Parent visa are permanent visas available to applicants who are parents of a child who is a settled Australian citizen, permanent resident, or eligible New Zealander citizens. They must also satisfy all the necessary Schedule 1 and 2 criteria of the balance of family test. So most of the thing is the balance of family test in the parent visa category and aged requirement. That is the two basic things. To apply for an onshore parent visa, 884, 886 or 804, the main applicant must satisfy the pension age. A parent can be onshore and apply for an offshore parent visa, for example 173, 143, 103, but will not be eligible for associating bridging visa. So this slide is very important. For example, if someone come to our office and they say, I want to apply 143, can I get the bridging visa? No. For 143, 103, 173, you can't get the bridging visa. Bridging visa you will only get if you apply 884, 864, 804. And for applying 884, 864, 804, you must meet the balance of family test. You must be the pension age. Pension age is 66 years and 6 months. And there are two group of parent visa, contributing and non-contributing parent visa. They are called contributing visa because of the large sum of money that is contributed upon the applications. What is eligible New Zealander citizen? So an eligible New Zealander citizen arrived in Australia on a New Zealand passport and were in Australia on 26th of February 2001 and were a special category visa holder on that day. For example, eligible New Zealander citizen means anyone who arrived in Australia before 26th of February 2001, we call eligible New Zealand citizen. If someone arrived after 26, for example, if someone arrived 27th of February 2001, he is not eligible New Zealand citizen. So he can't apply parent visa. Another thing, subclass 173 contributing parent visa. So you cannot apply for this visa if you have already applied for on-hold sponsored parent visa. There is another, this is 870, is a long stay visitor visa. I will discuss you further this. And this is transitional to subclass 143. For example, first the people get 173 visa, and this visa, this is visa only for 2 years. In 2 years, you must apply 143 while holding 173. The applicant may be either inside or outside Australia at the time of application. It does not mean either you be in Australia or been outside. But the most important thing, no associating bridging visa will get if you apply 173 visa. For example, if someone come here in Australia on a visitor visa and they apply 173, they will not get the bridging visa. And for 173 visa, there is no age criteria applicable of this visa. For example, if some parents are just 50 years old, this is very good for them. They can go for 173. And the current processing time of this visa is little bit reduced. It's 48 months. So first people apply 173. Then if once they will get this visa within 2 years, they will go for 143. So this is the permanent visa. The applicant may be either inside or outside Australia at the time of application or onshore application, and you don't have any section 48. Age criteria is not applicable. Sometimes people don't go for this one 173, they straight go for 143. This is the option. Because if you apply 173, first you pay the amount around about 30k. And once you go for 143, you pay the remaining amount 20k in the second time. But some people have a money amount, they will straight go for 143. They straight pay 50k per applicant, then they will get straight 143. The processing time, why they changes. Contributing parent visa, parent visa processing time change for number of reasons. Changes in planning level, how many visa applications are submitted, how many applications are withdrawn or refused, administrative appeal tribunal remit, ministerial intervention cases change to processing direction. So sometimes if the people get the more PR here in Australia, they will apply more parent visa. Sometimes people more apply parent visa. It means parent visa, they have a queue system, they have a specific number. So every year they just release some numbers for parent visas. This is subclass 884 contributing age parent visa. This is more similar like 143, 173 and 143. But this visa give you bridging visa A, and this will also same like the first people will get 2 years. This visa lets you live in Australia for up to 2 years. You can apply inside Australia. When you apply this visa inside Australia, you will get the bridging visa A. This visa allows you to travel from Australia for 2 years, and you are eligible to apply 864. When you apply in contributing aged parent visa, wherever you see the age term comes in a parent visa, you must know the age must be 65 years and 6 months pension age. When you apply 884 and you will get it, then you move to 864. This is the permanent visa. The applicant must be in Australia and must be aged according to the pension age requirement under Australian Social Security law. The applicant would be eligible for a bridging visa during the processing period. For example, if you apply 864 and your 884 was finished, so you will get the bridging visa automatically. So onshore applicant must check 8503 condition on a visitor visa. For example, if someone come, they apply family sponsored visitor visa, they have this condition, and unfortunately they can't apply 864. 864 visa for applicants in Australia. This visa lets older parents live permanently in Australia if they have a child who is sponsored and who is settled Australian citizen. Settles mean the child must be in Australia for last 2 years. And this is another very popular aged parent visa. This is very popular. This visa, permanent visa. This visa is for aged applicant that is over the set retirement age for Australia. So applicant may be in Australia at the time of application and the time of decision. Eligibility for associate, when the people apply 804, they will get the bridging visa. And this visa has a processing time is 25 to 30 years. And once this visa is granted 804, you will get the Medicare card. So cost of private healthcare must be considered because this is the processing time is around about 25 to 30 years. And if you apply 804 parent visa and you can't get the Medicare card on this visa, you have to buy the health insurance. So health insurance, you must cost of private healthcare must be considered. Medical and panel clearance are requested twice. So on this visa, immigration asks 2-time medical, when around due date and another set before the decision. So 2 times they ask medical. The age, there is increasing risk of changes to health over time. For example, if someone is applying parent visa 804 at 66 years and 6 months, as you see, the processing time is 30 years. So then the people go for 90 years, the health factor is very risky for this visa. But the processing time is around for 25 to 30 years, very long processing time. So this is the age pension. So mostly as I discussed, parent visa must be eligible if they have a certain age. So currently, if someone is born before 1952, 1st of July 1952 to 31st of December 1953, the pension age is 65 years and 6 months. As you seen in the chart, pension age is increasing. So if someone is born after 1st of January 1957, the pension age is 67 years. 67 years. So if someone is born from 1st of July 1995 to 31st of December 1956, So the pension age is 66 years and 6 months. So you must know which years your parent was born. If your parent was born after 1957, so they must be 67 years old to apply this visa. If parents are born before 1952, they just 65 years and 6 months. So this is the requirement you have to know before applying this visa. And there's a residency requirement to qualify for the age mentioned. You must be Australian resident. This is the living in Australia on a permanent basis and in the Australia on the day of the claim is lodged. So how and where to lodge? It's a paper application. So all of the parent visa applications are the paper application. Once the application is ready, we have to post in the Perth. This is the postal address. You can post application to Parent Visa Center, Department of Home Affairs, and you can also do the courier. So the department process the parent visa applications from the Perth office. Program caps. So this is very important. So the most significant differences between the parent visa category lie in the waiting period for the application to be processed and approved. This is attributed to the fact that program caps apply to both visa categories. The Migration Act contains provision which allow the minister to cap the number of visas that are granted in a financial year. Section 85 of the Migration Act. Certain visa may be subject to capping and queue. Parent visa are subject to direction number 82, allows prioritizing application in the context of planning level for the financial year. The cap only ever applies to that particular year so that it may changes from year to year. When the number of cap is reached, no further visa are granted. For example, if the department has set some number of visas must be granted in 1 year, so after when the cap is reached, so no further visa are granted. Contributing parent age visa processing time changes. So mostly other things. Sometimes people apply parent visa, they refuse, they go for 80, then department remit it. So they increase the capping time. What is when you also apply the assurance of when you apply the parent visa, there is another cost factor that you must be considered. At the time of grant, department asks about the assurance of support. For one applicant, currently average you have to pay 30,000 K for one applicant to the central link. So assurance of support can be required for a number of visa types. It is an arrangement to financially assist in migrating family if the necessity to ensure that the cost to the Australian taxpayer is minimized. For example, the government said if once you get the parent visa, for example 804, you cannot get the benefit from the central link for next 10 years. So department asks you at the time of grant, give us the assurance of support. For two applicants, roughly it costs you 15K. So you have to give them both to the central link. So once 10 years, after 10 years, the day of grant parent visa, if you get any claim from if you get any payment from the central link, they will deduct this payment from your bonds. So the assurance agrees to repay social security payment. For example, they say, for example, if you get any payment from the central link, at the end of 10 years, they will deduct your bond. Contributing parent visa processing time change to a number of reasons. Change in planning level, how many visa applications are submitted, almost the same things. Type of assurance spots. Assurance spots. As I told you, most of the parent visa have asking about assurance of spot. For example, if you apply parent visa 103, you have to pay assurance of spots. That is on top of visa application. For example, visa application currently 103 is around about $6,000. So at the time of decision, they will ask you to give us assurance of support. That is a 10K for one applicant. Two applicant, it costs you 15K. So around about. Parent visa 103, assurance of support you must be pay. Age parent visa 804 you must be pay. Parent. This is 143, 864, 114, 838, 115, 835. So mostly these parent visas, you have to pay the assurance of sports. So another very popular visa, sometimes if the people is not meeting the balance of family test, they can go for 870. This is a long-term tourist visa for parent visas. So sometimes people ask about it. If we are 1 minute. Yes, sometimes people ask about if we apply 804 visa, can I get the bridging visa A with full work rights or not? If you applying 804 parent visa, 804, you will get the work rights on bridging visa. And most the client ask about if we go for parent visa like 804, 864, can we get the Medicare card or not? During processing. During processing, if you apply 804, you could not get the Medicare card. You only get the full work rights on the bridging visa A. You will only get the Medicare card on 838. If you apply 838, you will get the Medicare card, but you could not get the work rights. And for 838, you must be the single, no partner. So this visa have a Medicare card, but no work rights. And this visa 838 is very good for those people whose parents are above 66-year-old and 6 month pension age. They will apply this visa and they can save the money from private health insurance because they will get the Medicare card 838. And from 838 there is no balance of family test is required. And all other visa like this one, all these visas that are written on these slides, balance of family test is required. So this is 870 surplus. This visa was introduced in 2019. The main purpose of this visa for those people who are not meeting the balance of family test, so and they are not the pension age, they can go for this visa, long-term tourist visa. This visa subclass 870. This is visa for 3 years and 5 years. During 3 years, you can stay permanently 3 years. You don't need to leave the Australia after 1 year. I can discuss further. 870 visa sponsored parent visa. It is an online application. The temporary sponsored parent visa is designed to allow the parents of Australian to spend longer period of time with their children in Australia without placing additional burden to Australian healthcare system. Application to sponsor a parent for the 8 subclass 870 was opened in 17th of April 2019. Visa application are accepted from 1st of July 2019. The sponsorship application must be approved before the sponsored parent visa can apply. So, if you want to apply 870 visa and your parent visa, for example, your parent visa come in Australia on a visitor visa and they're expiring within 1 month, you must be quick because this you can only eligible to apply when the sponsored application approved. So sponsor. So first, this is two type of application. First, we do the sponsored parent visa. Then, when sponsored parent visa application is approved, then we go for the 870 visa application. So this is two-step application. First, sponsorship approved. Then we move to visa applications. We can't submit two application at one time. So the visa provide parents with a new pathway to temporarily reunite with their children and grandchildren in Australia while ensuring that taxpayers are not required to cover additional costs. This visa responds to community concern about the limited number of parent places in the migration program and associated lengthy waiting periods. The parent must be biological adopted step parents of the sponsor. So it must be biological. The sponsor must be Australian citizen, Australian permanent resident, or eligible New Zealander citizen. This visa allows parents to stay in Australia for up to 5 years. The the 870 does not replace the existing parent visa category. A step parent can only apply if they are still in married de facto relationship with the biological parent or the sponsoring Australian child. So 1870, there is, as I told you earlier, the balance of family test does not apply to this visa. To be granted a temporary sponsor parent visa, a person must satisfy a number of requirements, including having the Australian child approved as sponsor. So, must child must be approved sponsor, meet identity, health, and character requirement. For Australian child, we need to do his health Australian Federal Police, not having an outstanding public health and debt. They must be all hold and maintain health insurance from Australian provider valid for their intent period of stay in Australia. So this visa, once you get this visa, first sponsor must be approved. Second, the applicant must be in good health and they must have a health insurance. This visa is cost you 5 years visa costs $10,000. This is for one applicant. For example, if someone about mother and father, it costs you $20,000. A 3-year visa will be $5,000. Key factor of the 5-year sponsor parent visa, maximum of 10. You can get this visa for just maximum 10 years. Parents not required to depart during the validity of this visa. So if first the parent will get 5 years, they can stay in 5 years. And multiple entries, they can come leave Australia at any time. May be eligible for a second parent visa 870. However, the sponsor must also reply to be the family sponsor. So if they want to reapply after 5 years, again sponsor must be approved. And in second time when you have to apply, you must leave Australia for 90 consecutive days before the second application was lodged. For example, in second application, you must leave Australia for 90 days and come back, then you apply. So sponsorship requirement. So the sponsor must be biological, adopted, provide a stepchild of their parents, provide valid evidence of their identity, be an Australian citizen, Australian permanent residence, be an 18 years old, have lived in Australia for at least 4 years, must meet the income requirement. Income requirement for this visa is very high. Sponsor must be income above 82K, $82,000. Accept legal liabilities for any outstanding public interest, health debt. For example, if someone, for some sponsor have an income below 83K, $83,000, they are not eligible to apply this visa 870. So sponsor must be have an income $83,000. And this visa, as I told you, sponsorship fee will be $420. So first application costs you $420 and sponsor must provide the Australian Federal Police check. See, the sponsor must be income. So sponsor must have at least taxable income $83,000 around about. If a sponsor taxable income is combined with the other taxable income, for example, taxable income of the sponsor's spouse, a de facto partner, or another child of the parents, that combined amount is at least equal to the amount of specified 83,454. For example, if sponsor is married and if he is earning $50,000 and if his wife is earning 33,000, so they can combine this income. You can combine sponsor two-person incomes. What evidence is required but to apply this visa? Evidence that the sponsor is an Australian citizen, permanent resident, eligible citizen. They must give us passport, birth certificate, marriage certificate. If they are adopted, we need adoption paper, family status certificate or family books. Notice of assessment is very important in 870. 870 is only one requirement. Sponsor must have a taxable income of 83,454. If someone has no income, they can't apply 870. So notice of assessment we must require to apply this visa. And also, when we apply this visa, we need a police certificate from Australia and offshore. So all of this is from parent visa. If you have any question, you can ask us and leave in the box.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan Ali, for giving a wonderful presentation. Now we are moving forward with the answering the question. So the question is, how long does it take to process a parent visa application?
If you are applying contributing parent visa application, it's around 12 years. If you are applying non-contributing parent visa, it around 30 years.
Okay, thank you so much. Now coming up with the next question. My father age is 58 years. So I am eligible for apply parent visa.
You only eligible to apply contributing parent visa 143. So 143 is contributing parent visa. You have to pay the lump sum amount to the department to apply this, around about $50,000.
Okay, thank you so much. Now the next question is, how much does a parent visa application cost?
If you're applying non-contributing 804, it costs you 4,600 per applicant.
Okay, thank you. Now next question is definition of age parent and contributing parent.
So age parent, the definition is it must be age pension. That is different. Currently is 66 years and 6 months.
Okay. Now coming up with the next question. After applying parent visa, am I eligible? My parent is eligible for the Medicaid?
If they are applying 804 visa, they are not eligible for Medicare. They are only eligible if they are applying 838.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving this wonderful presentation. Now we have a limited time. Our next session will start soon on tips and trick to crack CCL by Rini Mehta. If you have any query, please reach out to our nearest Aussizz branch. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.